Okay. Yes, got it. Thank you. Thank you very much indeed. Today we'll be shedding the lights on differentiated instruction. So differentiation is about meeting individual student needs, is about need how to be met. Okay, so it's about meeting individual student needs. And this is remind me, I said this last time, but I am really careful about this quote. This quote from Karl Marx, from the founding father of the Marxism. He said that from each according to his abilities, to each according to his needs. So we are talking about abilities and needs as well. So let us move on and see what do we mean by differentiated instruction. Yeah, differentiated instruction is a strategy. First of all, that we have to know that is not approach or a strategy. It's a strategy by which teachers, university lecturers, doctors, okay, adapt instruction to meet students varied. Varied is a key word here. Varied learning needs. Instruction now and then, right now and back then, when we are talking about instruction. So delivery of instruction in the past often followed a one size fits all. A one size fits all. In contrast, differentiation is individual student centered. So when we are talking about a learner-centered approach, so when we are talking about this, when we are handling this, we are focusing, or the focus will mainly and chiefly be on the learner. So the student-centered approach, and then with a focus on appropriate instructional and assessment tools that are fair. First of all, they should be fair, flexible, and challenging. We're gonna see these terms. What do we mean by fair here? Flexible and challenging. And engage students in curriculum in meaningful ways. So it's a framework or philosophy. It's a framework or a philosophy for effective teaching. It's not that the outdated fashion or that old fashion of teaching. I mean, that archaic word of teaching. No, is a new and effective teaching that involves providing different students with different avenues to learning, often in the same classroom. In terms of what? So there are several ways that, or several categories. The first one is acquiring content. So when talking about the content, we're gonna focus on that. We are focusing on the content, the what. So when we are talking about the WH question, so when we're talking about the content or the content, we do mean by that is the content, the what. Then number two, the ways, processing, okay, and constructing. Three, or making sense of ideas. And the fourth one, so we have one, content, processing, and constructing or making sense of ideas. Hello? Is the flow clear so far? Is it clear as just I'm not standing, but as I'm sitting here?
Yes, clear. Thank you for
Okay.
that.
Okay. Materials and assessment measures so that all students within the classroom, not outside the classroom, no, within one classroom, can learn effectively regardless of differences in ability. So where does it stem from? So before talking about where the idea stem or comes from, let's think about the definition here and the yes, similarities and differences back then and right now. What do you think about this, dear respected teaching staff? What do you think about the notion of one size fits all? What do you think about that? Hello? Hello? Can anyone just give us an idea about these differences and if there are any similarities? I mean, sameness while we're talking about this, differentiating instruction right now and back then. Before delving, I mean, yeah, talking about this, the idea that where does it stem from or came from? Hello? Hello?
Yeah, Doctor, one of the
Yes?
participants here write on the chat box that it is impossible that one size fits all.
Yeah.
Okay, do you have a comment about that? Okay, thank you.
Okay, that's great. That's great. Yeah, because this is to remind us about the 13 or 30, yeah, 30. I mean, the 20th century, the 20s, okay, in the 30s and 40s back then. But from the 50s and 70s, when there's, yeah, Sigmund, it's not Sigmund Freud, but is, yeah, the linguist, is Swedish. Yeah, Saussure, Ferdinand de Saussure. Okay, and later there's Chomsky when he was talking about the syntactic structure. So this is not about the one size fits all. So there are different ways that we have to deal our students with and different needs. So we have to meet this, or not we have to, but I think is a must for us to meet these needs. Okay. Does anybody have a question or comment, or well, does anybody want to add anything regarding this area?
Yes, I do.
Yes, great. Go on.
Yes. Differentiation is more learner-centered than teacher-centered.
Yes.
And if the students are involved in their learning, they learn quicker. Learning becomes so much easier. I think we as the new generation teachers should focus on student-centered education. In the classroom, we should provide for the students to be totally engaged, especially because we are ESL educators.
Fantastic. We are the new generation. Excellent. And there's call for us, this generation, and we have to answer this call by meeting the student need, right?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you very much indeed. It's really quite touching. Does anybody have another comment or anything to add? Thank you very much indeed.
Okay, one more.
Yes.
Teacher-centered education prevents
Yes.
learners from expressing themselves. And
Yes.
differentiated education is when the students express themselves, they know why they are learning what they are learning. They
Why
learn
and
at
what?
their own pace and not at the teacher's pace. Because in a classroom, we have slow learners and learners who are who know quite a bit, right? We have different kinds, different ability.
Yes.
And in differentiation, we as teachers need to allow the high flyers, maybe the gifted learners, we need to encourage them to go further, and the slower learners, bring them up to speed.
To
I
be
don't know whether
on the
I'm
same
making myself
level.
clear.
Thank you. Thank you. This really to the point that we are dealing with right now. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you. Okay, let's move on. Where does it stem from? Thank you, those who are just share their ideas and thoughts with us. It stems from beliefs about differences among learners. So learners are innately different, okay? How they learn, okay? So how they learn, the manner, I mean, the way, and this is refers back to the behaviorism school. If you recall this in linguistics, in the field of linguistics, there are those who are calling about behaviorism, and those who are against the structuralism, right? And then here, learning preferences, yeah, according to what they do prefer, and individual interests. Therefore, differentiation is unorganized, yet flexible way of proactively adjusting teaching and learning methods to accommodate each student's learning needs and preferences to achieve maximum growth as a learner. This is refers back to what we said: fair, flexible, and challenging. Okay, let's move on and we will see this. Yeah, what should it be based on? Yeah, the differentiation is based on formal and informal assessment to determine students' skills. So formal and informal, actually, when we are talking about assessment, okay? So here we have summative, formative, diagnostic, okay? So these are formal and informal, and the formal one is a summative assessment, but the other one, like diagnostic one, is it can be verbal or orally, right? Am I clear now? Yeah, is that all right? Come on, guys. Hello? Hello? Okay, what can be assessed? What can be or can be assessed? So we have readiness, interest, and learning a profile. To those who had CELTA, they do a lot, they know a lot about this, three things, because it's there, particularly learning a profile. So the areas of strength and weakness, but weakness sometimes is not a bit insulting or offensive, but there's a tendency toward saying areas need to be enhanced, right? So this student, we don't say weak, psychologically, maybe it harm him or her. So these areas need to be enhanced, to be tackled, to be addressed. And the interest surveys, okay, interest centers and self-selection. And then we have the readiness. And the readiness can be seen through two ways, the attitude and the aptitude, as well as the skills, content knowledge, and the concepts. But I think that the readiness stems from the notion that the natural ability to learn, the desire, and this has something to do with the attitude and the aptitude. Let's move on. Why is it beneficial? So adapting instruction to each student's skills and needs while advancing learning for all students, for all of them. And this is remind us the American slogan, which recently Barack Obama dealt with, is, and this is, I think that reminds me Salamanca Convention, if I'm not mistaken, that education for all and no one behind, no one behind, no one left behind. Is that true? Is that true, guys?
Yes, that is true.
Yeah. I think that if I'm not mistaken, I've heard this or I've read this from Salamanca Convention, that education for all and no one left behind or no one behind. Is that true? Is that so true? Hello?
Yeah, I think it is very true because, okay, all the policies all over the world needs, okay, to have all the students be engaged in the teaching learning process. For us as teachers inside the classroom, we should be aware of all the students inside the classroom so as to make them interact. So no one left behind, lead us to have a dynamic classroom inside the classroom, and this is a very good point. Thank you for that. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed. It's really, I am so delighted about hearing this. Excellent. Thank you, Dr. Othman. Thank you very much. How can we understand the way students learn? So this is has something to do with the TMAC, teaching mixed ability students, or teaching mixed ability, classes, teaching mixed ability classes is called as, I guess as an acronym like T-shirt. I think that is TMAC. So if time allows us, next time, inshallah, we'll be talking about this, the mixed abilities. So that's how are we going to deal with them? How are we going to understand that the way they perceive knowledge? To understand our students learn and what they know, a pre-assessment and ongoing assessment are essential. So a pre, during, and a post. So these three stages. This provides feedback for both teacher and student with the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal is improving student learning. So our ultimate goal, our end. So it's not a means, but it's an end in itself, that to improve this learners' skills and learners' growth and development. How am I supposed to do I as teachers? How are we going to do that? As doctors, professors, universal lecturers, how are we going to do that? So how can teachers differentiate? Teachers can differentiate in 4 ways. What are they? So here are they. the content, a process, the environment, and the product. So we'll be talking about this in details, or in not detail, but in a little bit, okay? So content, one, yeah, two, and product and learning environments. So let's see one by one. Let's go through them. The content of lessons may be differentiated based on what students already know. And this is called a presupposition, if I'm not mistaken, because this is what do you have in your epistemic machine and has something to do with epistemology. Is that right? And the most basic content of lesson should cover the standards of learning set by the district or state. Yeah, when we are talking about the curriculum and the curriculum unit, the curriculum designers, okay, or syllabus designers, all they have to be aware of that. And actually they do. Some students in a class may be completely unfamiliar with the concept in a lesson. Some students may have a partial mastery of the content or display mistaken ideas about the content, and some students may show mastery of the content before lesson begins. The teacher may differentiate the content by designing activities. So by designing activities for groups of students that cover different areas of Bloom's taxonomy. And here we will be talking about 3 of the Bloom's taxonomy. Yes, these are our students. High achievers or high achiever, gifted learner, and creative learner. So if you wrote on the blackboard, or if you are using the active board and you wrote this, what do we mean by syntax or semantics, for example? Okay. Oh, I know that answer. So this is high achiever. Syntax is, I think, meaning, yeah, but when he say, yeah, yes, but I think, so this is gifted learner. But when the student say, what do you mean by that? I don't know. So you can differentiate your students level, okay? Here are they. For example, students who are unfamiliar with the concept may be required to complete tasks on the lower levels. Yeah, so we'll be dealing with 6 of them. 3 for the lower levels of Bloom's taxonomy: knowledge, comprehension, and application. So we will be shedding the lights on this to those who are unfamiliar with the concept itself. And students with a partial mastery may be asked to complete tasks in the application, analysis, and evaluation areas. So here, 3. So we'll be dealing with 9, so actually. So sorry to say that we'll be dealing with 6, not 60 only, but we'll be dealing with 9. So this is 3 evaluation areas. Students who have higher levels of mastery may be asked to complete tasks in evaluation and synthesis. So these are 2. Yes, high level will be dealing with 2, and yes, 3. So it will be 8 till there are 8 areas that we deal with. Number 2 is the process. So yeah, the process of how the material in a lesson is learned may be differentiated for students based on their learning styles. So when we are talking about the learning styles, whether they are kinesthetic or kinesthetic, or whether they are tactile, can anyone remind us about the learning style? Hello.
Hi, Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Also, we can see we have the visual learners.
Yes, visual learners, excellent. Thank you.
As well as auditory learners.
Auditory learner, audiovisual, yes, auditory, yeah.
Yeah, we have to fulfill all these needs, these styles. We have to vary our activities. We have to vary our teaching strategies, teaching methods to meet all these styles.
That's great. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you very much indeed. And this is exactly what we are talking about, the area that we are addressing right now while talking about learning styles. So this is our role as a teacher. And you said that we have to. Yes, you are damn right about that. We have to, we ought to, is a must. So that's why we have to be aware of, right? Thank you. It's really quite touching. Yes, some students may prefer to read about a topic, yeah. Others may prefer to, acquire knowledge by manipulating objects associated with the content. Yeah, how a teacher plans to deliver the instruction is based on assessment results that show the needs, learning styles, interests, a level of prior knowledge. So when talking about this, we have to take into our consideration that the needs, learning styles, interests, and knowledge. Yeah, is important for a differentiated classroom. It's not only just important, but I think that is vitally important for a differentiated classroom to allow some students to work alone. Some of them, they want to work alone. They prefer to work alone if this is their best modality for a particular task. This is the gist, I think. This is the gist about the differentiated instruction, which is the main idea behind this is that students are at different levels and learn in different ways. So a teacher can teach them all the same way. What do you think about this? Yes? I think for me, this is the gist. Do you agree with this? The main idea? Hello? Good, ladies and gentlemen, our remarkable teachers and university professors who are here. Yes, this evening. Actually, evening is not yet, but so we can say afternoon. Yeah? What do you think about this? Hello? Hello? Am I clear?
Yeah, you are so clear, Doctor. Okay.
Okay, but I think that this is the bliss or the bless of our line. I think that because sometimes you see yourself that as if you are in a valley and the others are in another valley. But I think that you are all here, right? So this teaching online sometimes is really tough task, right? But I think that we are tougher. Hello? Shall we move on? Shall we all go on?
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Uthman. But what about the others? I think that Dr. Uthman, we were born to make our voice heard, right?
Yeah, yeah. Thank
So I'm really eager to hear their voices. Hello. Okay. After teaching a lesson, a teacher might break students into small ability groups based on their readiness. So small ability between two inverted commas. The teacher would then give each group a set of questions based on each group's appropriate level of readiness skills related to the objectives of the lesson. Another way to group the students could be based on the student learning styles. So we have two ways here, okay? The ability, yes, according to the readiness, and then we have, yes, the level of readiness skills, and then we have, yeah, this way, and the other way is the student could be based on the student learning. So we're gonna consider their style. The third one is a product is an integral or essential component of the differentiate model, as a preparation of the assessment determines both the what and the how of instruction delivery. So what, when we are talking about the content, and how about how are we going to deliver to convey our lesson, our message about this lesson. Yeah. The product is essentially what the student produces at the end of the lesson to demonstrate the mastery of the content. So, through or via tests, evaluations, projects, reports, and other activities. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, and other activities. Okay. Learning environment, this is the last one. When talking about the learning environment. Okay, differentiating through the environment is important as it creates the conditions for optimal learning to take place. So the teacher's goal is to create an environment that is a positive, structured, and supportive for each student, for all of them. The learning environment includes the physical layout of the classroom, the way that the teacher uses the space, environmental elements such as lighting, ventilation, the overall atmosphere of the classroom. Yeah, the physical environment should be a place that's flexible with a variety types of furniture and arrangements and areas for quad individual work, as well as areas for group work and collaboration. And collaboration reminds us that one of the 4 C's. Collaboration is a thing that is one of the, I reckon that is one of the forces of the 21st century skills. This supports a variety of ways to engage in flexible and dynamic learning. Teachers should be sensitive and alert to ways that the classroom, and we said in other words, to be aware of, alert to ways that the classroom environment supports the students' ability to interact with others individually, in small groups, and as a whole class. They should deploy classroom management techniques that support a safe and supportive learning environment. I think that this is the end. Always remember that a good teacher can inspire hope, ignite the imagination. Sometimes we say that ignite feelings and instill a love of learning. This is a quote from Brad Henry. And together, everyone achieves more, so team, and let it be our slogan. Thank you very much indeed. Yes, the floor is yours. So does anybody have a question or comment, or would like to add anything? I'm here to listen. And thank you for listening, by the way. I do appreciate your listening attentively. Does anybody have a question, or do you have any comment? Anything to add? Yeah, yes, I would like you to share, because we said that, and it says that sharing is caring. Hello? Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, the voice is good.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Uthman, for your time and for everyone's time, for coming in and or joining, tuning, attending this session online, virtual session. Thank you very much indeed. Does anybody have anything to say, to add, to comment, to like? Hello? Dr. Uthman. Dr. Uthman.
Yes, please.
I think that here, I am not just seeing those who are here, but I think that is there anything in the chat?
No, nothing, no question there. And I think, okay, everything is clear for the teachers, okay, for the time being. And if you want to add anything, okay, that's okay. Otherwise, okay, on behalf of all the teachers, I would like to appreciate your highly efforts, okay? And I think you delivered a session in a good way. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you very much indeed. I'm really delighted, and thank you for this really quite touching word. And I really feel over the moon for this so kind of you. And thank you, teachers, doctors, for coming in, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. I'm really indebted and delighted to hopefully to see you face to face. Those who are just there, to someday to see each other, inshallah. I think that, yes, does anyone have anything to say or to share or comment? Thank you, Dr. Uthman, for your effort, for making this easier and connecting with them. Thank you very much indeed. You and on behalf of the whole PD unit, I mean, all of you, thank you very much indeed for facilitating the way and just enhancing this on training, yes, job on training. Thank you. On train job, sorry.
Okay, thank you very much. Just a reminder, tomorrow, inshallah, is going to be a orientation session, okay, regarding ELS 1102 and ELS 11O 5 at the same time at 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
Okay, and on behalf on the BD unit, okay, we would like to thank Dr. Akram for delivering this session, and we want him to promise us to do another one as soon as possible. Thank you very much for that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you, Dr. Uthman. I really and highly appreciate this. Thank you very much indeed. Hopefully to hear from them next time, inshallah. Thank you. Thank you all. God bless you and God bless us all.